Morning, everybody. Still in London, going home after this, but I thought I would remain consistent and step up and do my bit, not one for hiding. Um, Welcome to the channel. If you are new around here, make sure you are subscribing, Villa Fan Channel. Get involved, get on the journey, smash the likes. If the results aren't great, help me out at least and comment your thoughts on how you're feeling the day after. I'm feeling exactly the same. Exactly the same as yesterday. Thank you, everyone who watched my match reaction. It was just me, passion, how I feel as a Villa fan. I will always show my emotion and how I'm feeling. And that's what I want to portray to you guys. If I'm happy, you see it. If I'm sad, if I'm feeling down, you'll see it. You'll see every emotion that I'm feeling coming through this screen to you guys. And just yesterday, just simply just wasn't good enough. I'm very in tune with this Emery team, tactically, how it works, how it moves, how it feels, how it looks. And it was just a disaster. And I put on the thumbnail, again, whenever there's a masterclass, I'll say it. Whenever there's a disaster class, I'll say it. And it was an absolute disaster class. It was bad. Very, very bad. And not only was it bad, it was just, there was just nothing there, which was a big, big worry for me. You can look at it and you can go, okay, we didn't turn up. Maybe a couple of players didn't turn up, but somebody stepped up. Nobody stepped up. Nobody was there. Nobody got the game by the scruff of the neck. And no, to be honest, there was one player. There was one, and there was Bailey. Because Bailey, when he came on, he took responsibility on himself to dribble, get the ball, try and beat a man. So Bailey was the only one that did take that game by the scruff of the neck. But it's far too late. And we will get into tactically in a second, and you will start to see what needs to happen there. But not one of them, not one of the starters stepped up. It was just very flat, methodical, a lack of passion, a lack of desire. There was lack of desire. There was no desire there for me to go and step up out of your zone, out of your comfort zone to express yourself. The passion part, it has to be there for me at times. You see Mateta giving it this one, and little things like that, just that little release of energy from a player. There was none of that. There was just no. There was no. And one of the things that Emery always speaks about is the connection with the fans. There was no zip with the fans. It was just very like flat and lifeless. And again, that it just can't happen. Not in a semi-final. Not in a semi-final. Not when there's something at stake to reach a final, to then lift a trophy. How have we just rocked up and just been so flat? I mean, I've no idea what that dressing room was like at full time, but it must have been silent because what was on the pitch just was terrible. And there's a comment here from McGinn after the game, and it just really annoyed me, guys. He said this. This was McGinn after the game. We've got an important last 4 games to achieve European football again and get us back to the Champions League, so we can't sulk for too long. We've got an important last 4, mate. That game was important. That game was important. Why are we talking about the last 4 games when you've absolutely just pulled one of the biggest stinkers at Wembley, and now we're talking about getting up for the next 4 games? Like, it makes no sense. It just makes no sense that we're talking about getting Champions League football and our next 4 games when I can't see what that performance that you've put in there. Shouldn't you should have got up for that big game? Just not good enough. Really not good enough. Like, not good at all. Right, we'll go into it tactically. We've still got some tactical aspects of it. I'm not going to run through the goals because I've watched them back, and it's catalogue of errors, that first one. But what we'll go here first. Average positions. So, big problem. I'm going to try and decipher what Emery tried to do. And I look at this now, and the glaringly obvious aspect of this that I find I just don't get it is this area here. So we've got this area here and this area here, right? So left-hand side, right-hand side. Right-hand side, biggest problem for me. Big problem. Because look where Rodgers has gone. Rodgers has gone where his best game is, down the middle. And he's drifting there, which opens up space for Matty Cash to be able to attack as well. But this is what I don't understand. I like Cash as a person. I think he'll always try his best. He'll always try his best, and that's okay. But for what we need on that right hand side, he's not the player for me. He's not a wing back. I think an out and out right back. He's okay defensively. He's okay the odd time, but we can't rely on him to get here. And this is what we need from him. We need him to get here, time after time, be expansive, get forward, whip the ball in. We're basically here. We're basically playing the same formation as Crystal Palace. This is we try to be a 3 at the back with wing backs. So Cash is your wing back, Digne is your wing back, Kamara drops in, you've got 3 at the back. Then this is your wing back shape. So you've got 5 at the back, you've got 2 we'd have 2 in the middle, you've got Rodgers, Asensio off Watkins. So we're technically a very similar formation, but more hybrid. But we don't have the player on the right hand side for me. I'm sorry, guys. We don't have that player. Rodgers will come inside, not seeing the ball enough because he's either starting on the right. So this is his average position. So if he's average here, that means that he spent a lot of time here, he spent a lot of time here, etc. This is where he's drifting around. Asensio, he may as well have not played. He hardly touched. He didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. He'd have been better off even switching them and just saying, Rodgers, you play there, Asensio, you go there. Because Asensio's not touching the ball. So that's frustrating in itself. Game plan to Watkins, what is it? I've said it a few times now about the striker. That and this is why I think he's chose Rashford recently, guys. This is why he's chose Rashford recently. Because we can't just eat it long in behind. We can't do that anymore. The space sometimes isn't there to do it. So again, Watkins is hardly touching the ball. He's not touching the ball at all, really. I'll show you in a minute. We need a player that drops a little bit, can touch, can play, can move, can spread. For me, that's what we need right now. Because we're trying to build up, and we need our striker to be a part of that build up. Yeah, all these little channel balls now, they don't work. They didn't work. He hardly. You can't have attacking players that hardly touch the ball and don't do anything. You know, our creative players yesterday that started the game, Rodgers, Asensio, Watkins, and McGinn, they didn't do anything. There was no flair. There was no spark. No one got the game by the scruff of the neck. None of them. And if you do something, you've got to take that little clutch moment. As they hardly touched the ball in the opening phases. Touch, bang, goal. So that front line for Villa was a massive problem. Wing backs, massive problem. Digne, massive problem. I think what's happened, some teams, if you can push us back and stop certain areas of Villa, stop the left back getting forward, shut down Matty Cash, block passing lanes, and compact midfield, you'll have a chance of beating Villa. If you block out that midfield and stop them passes sort of vertically through the middle, you'll shut down Villa. Because what ends up happening, and what I mean by this is, let's change the colour. So if you shut down Villa in here, so you shut down Villa in that blue, in that white circle, that white square. Okay. So for example, you've made it really compact in here. So look where that white square is. Imagine you've got Crystal Palace players, you've got Wharton, Kamada, you've got certain players in there shutting that down. If you then force the ball to go out wide, so let's bring in a little football. If you force the ball to go out wide here, and you've shut down that Villa midfield, who's he passing to? Because he's not beating a man. He's not going to that byline and crossing it in. He's staying where he is. Exactly the same on this side. If ball goes to Matty Cash here, and they've shut down that middle of the park, and he's got no passing lane, what does he do? Cuts back. He will always cut back. He won't get the ball and beat a man and go to the byline. Always goes back here. So what ends up happening is Martinez, and this is ridiculous, right? I'll show you this in a second. We end up with our biggest playmaker being Emery Martinez, because we go from right to left, shut down through the middle, right to left, shut down through the middle, right to left, shut down through the middle, back to the goalkeeper. Because what we need, and I'm not hammering them, guys. I'm not hammering certain players here, but you know, beat your man doesn't happen. Beat your man doesn't happen. And then what you're left with is a congested box of midfielders that can't break through a line. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. So that's tactically a little bit. Right, what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you touches and passes through certain players. So we'll start off, we'll go from top to bottom. So accurate passes, Ollie Watkins, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. So we'll go John McGinn now. He started the game, remember. 13 out of 17. Should we see if we can get someone above 30? 30. Let's see if we can get someone above 30. Asensio, 16 out of 24. Rodgers, 15 out of 23. Tielemans. So we got 56 and 68. Kamara, 43 and 52. So look at that front four from Villa. Not one of them above 30. Then we'll have a look at the goalkeeper. 36, Cash. In the 60s, I think. 69. Digne, who's our width on the left-hand side, going forward. 26 out of 30. Pau. 76. Konsa. 82. So Martinez has had more successful passes than Watkins, Rodgers, Asensio and McGinn. And that shows to me that he's seen a lot of the ball. And the further up the pitch we go, we hardly have any touches, which generally happens. Certain players will have more touches in build-up, midfielders, etc. But that front four was absolutely shocking. Let's have a look at how many Eze had. 23. Eze had 23. Sarr, he only had 8. 3 out of 8 for Sarr. This is wild. Mateta, 5 out of 7. Mitchell, 7 out of 10. Munoz, 16 out of 22. Wharton, 21. Kamada, 30. So their threat on transition has absolutely done us. But from a Villa point of view, our players just didn't get enough touches for me. And I know they've had more touches than some of these Palace players, but I don't really care about Palace and what they're doing right now. I'm focusing on what we're doing, and we're hardly touching the ball. So the system, again, you can see we've got Cash, heat map predominantly, further forward at times, doing a lot of defensive work. Digne, heat map, more red in his own half. Pau, Konsa, Kamara, Tielemans, McGinn, sparse. Rodgers, cutting in, sparse. Asensio and Watkins. Now we'll have a look at some of the duels now. And we'll go through Villa first, and then we'll go with Palace. So Bailey, 100% passing accuracy. 2 out of 3 duels won. Marlon, 3 out of 4. We've got Asensio, 1 out of 3, 67% passing accuracy. Matson, 1 of 2, 84. McGinn, 1 of 3, 76. Digne, 1 of 2, 87. Konsa, 99. Cash, 88. Watkins, 80. Martinez, 86. Pau, 92. 4 out of 5 duels won. Watkins, 1 out of 7 duels won. Tielemans, 6 out of 12 duels. Rodgers, 3 out of 10. Kamara, 6 out of 10. Palace's duels, let's have a look at that then. Eze, 4 out of 10. Sarr, 2 out of 4. Wharton, 5 out of 7. Mateta, 7 out of 9. Mitchell, 3 out of 5. Munoz, 2 out of 5. Lerma, 1 of 1. So let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at their heat map as well. So heavily congested in the middle. Wing backs, midfield. I think the midfield done us. Wharton and Kamada in there done us. So not good, guys. Not good at all. Thoughts on Emery as well? Not good, guys. Not good. Got something from Ryan, who we were talking after the game. And this is what Ryan said. And I think this is massive. Shout out to Ryan. He wanted his shout out, by the way. We didn't back ourselves. PSG away, Man City away, Crystal Palace semi-final. Too scared to lose. That's what Ryan said. And I'm with it. What did I say, guys? I said we have to treat it like a home game. We have to treat it like a home game. Because away from home, I kind of feel like we just try and be a little bit, we try and be something that is that right? We try and be something that we're not. I think some of you might get what I'm trying to say there. In the sense of, I look at home games. Let's look at home games, for example, and then we'll round off. So we play against Forest at home. We play against Newcastle at home. And we played the same way, which is true. We at home, we play the same way. But we've just got more purpose. There's more purpose there. When we play away, we rock up and we try and control everything. Sometimes you can't control. You can't control. I don't think you can control everything. I don't think we can. And what I mean by that is you can try and keep them at bay for as long as you want. So, for example, what was it yesterday? 20 something, 30 something minutes. You're containing. And then one loose little flurry, goal, you're 1-0 down. You're not controlling nothing then. And you see that with like Martinez trapping it on, enticing them. But a lot of the time they don't want to know. They're all clued up and too switched on for that now. They all know what's coming. Martinez got the ball at his feet. We want them to come on. They're not going to do that. Why are they going to do that? 1, 2, 3, you'll pop it round them. So I would much rather us just attack the game. But I think Emery is so calm. You want it all mellow. You want it all flat. Sometimes we want that little bit of oomph. We want that gear switch. Just crank it up a little bit. And then what happens? What I'm trying to say is that when we're at Villa Park and we have those mad flurries, what's happened? We've scored, pressure, the crowd cranked up, and we're going for teams. But against Palace, wasn't there. And we are a work in progress. Like the team isn't that finished team. I'll tell you that for a fact. Like there's players that are going to leave in the summer, and people are going to look at it and go, "Oh my God, he's leaving." Honestly, guys, there's certain players that are going to go. The system has got to change. That right-hand side needs a complete overhaul. Just flat, man. Just so disappointed. I don't even want to think about the next 4 games. I don't even want to think about it because they've annoyed me that much. Just disappointed. Right, we'll end it there. A little bit of chat about what's happened. I imagine not that many might watch this episode because you're all probably fuming just like me. But I might try and do something tonight. I might try and get a few on, and we can have a little chat about it, and just see what everybody else is saying. I'm going home, up the Villa.